Now that we have understood that A star works successfully only with a underestimating heuristic, I will just give you one more word for it. In literature or in books, you will find that underestimating heuristics are also called, underestimating is one word, admissible. Admissible heuristic is also a good word. It's a legal word. Which means the heuristic having the same property, that is Hn less than equal to H star n for all n. Okay, now how do we we have just found out that if this condition is met, then A star will give me the optimal solution. But from where do we get underestimating or admissible heuristic? It is the responsibility of the AI designer, of the system designer, to choose a underestimating heuristic while implementing the A star algorithm. Okay, before going into that, I will give you the thing that there can be multiple heuristics for the same problem which are underestimating. I will give you one example. Let us go to the root finding problem. This is my start state, this is my goal state, and there are multiple routes through which I can go. These are the actual road tracks or rail tracks, whatever they are. There are multiple routes, right? So one of the routes here is the optimal route. Maybe this one is the optimal route. Why is it the optimal? Because of all the other routes available, this is giving me the least path cost. But if I choose, maybe this is one intermediate node n. If I choose the heuristic as we have chosen in our illustration, the straight line distance from any node n to the goal, which means the heuristic is actually this distance. What is the minimum distance between any two points in space? The straight line. So, can any distance between n and goal be smaller than the straight line distance? No. So, the straight line distance heuristic can be taken as a underestimating or admissible heuristic. Understood? Also, so is there only one admissible heuristic for this problem? No. I will again give you an example. Let us have this coordinate system. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is my start node, this is my goal node. I am telling this as x-axis and y-axis. We can take as the latitude and longitude. Just for our illustration or understanding purpose, I am giving you as the x-axis and y-axis, as if I am plotting my start and goal node for a given route finding problem on a 2D map. So again, there are multiple routes available, right? What is the straight line distance? If my node is having a coordinate xy and my goal is having a coordinate xg and yg, then my heuristic function is like x minus xg whole square plus y minus yg whole square. I could do away with the square root also. I could directly use the square, only the square part, x minus xg whole square plus y minus yg whole square, without the square root also. Okay, not a problem. Again, let me introduce another heuristic. Mod of x minus xg plus y minus yg. What does this mean? If, for example, if I am here, this is my x, this is my y, right? Mod of x minus xg means as if this entire map is divided into blocks. How many blocks I have to go along the x-axis? X minus xg blocks. Mod of x minus xg blocks I have to go. And how many blocks I have to go along the y-axis? Mod of y minus yg blocks. So it is, this heuristic is actually called the city block distance. This is called the straight line distance. This is called the city block distance. As you can see and as you can understand from the map, the city block distance is also lesser than the actual path. From this state to the goal state, the cheapest path, it is the city block distance. If this one is this distance is greater than the city block distance. Why is this greater? Because the city block distance is assuming no curvature, no obstacles within the path, no turnings. It is just going some blocks along x-axis, some blocks along y-axis. So this is called the city block distance. So for the route finding problem, I just gave you two heuristics, the city block distance and the straight line distance, and both of them being admissible heuristics. Similarly, for other problems, so choice of a heuristic is more of an art than a science. It is a science from the point of view that it should be admissible. The admissibility criteria is mathematical, and hence it is science from that point of view. And I will tell you why it is called art, because you have to choose smartly. Why? It can be shown, although we will not prove here, that if for the same problem I have multiple heuristics h1, h2, h3, h4 and so on. For the same problem I am having multiple heuristics and all of them are admissible, all of them. Then the heuristic which is giving the maximum value for each node is called the dominant heuristic. For example, if H1 and H2 are two admissible heuristics for a problem, and I can show that H2 of n is greater than H1 of n for all n. The value of H2 is always greater than H1 for all n. Find it that both of them are admissible. And then this condition prevails. Then H2 is called the dominant heuristic. And the concept of dominant heuristic is important here because if I am having a dominant heuristic, if I do the search with both H2 and H1, both H2 and H1 will give me the optimal solution because both of them are admissible. But due to this criteria, H2 greater than H1 for all n, H2 will open lesser number of nodes, which means more focused. This can be proved, but we are not going to prove it here. Just take it as an information that a dominant admissible heuristic opens a lesser number of nodes. Hence, the search will terminate faster. The search will hence become more efficient. So, if I am having multiple heuristics and all of which are admissible, I have to choose the max of them. I have to choose that heuristic which gives me the maximum value for each node n. That will become my dominant heuristic, and the dominant heuristic will give me an optimal solution while opening lesser number of nodes, that is while doing a focused search. Sometimes the question arises, what will happen if the heuristic is not admissible? The answer is very simple. If the heuristic is not admissible, your solution may be suboptimal while it will still remain focused. So in particular cases, in some particular tasks where the time to reach the solution is very important, where you want to reach a solution even if it is suboptimal, should be less. Sometimes we have to use non-admissible heuristic also. In that case, the search remains focused but may not always become optimal. In the next video lecture, we will take a clue of how to design a admissible heuristic.